we had our letdown last week. If we're really going to be in the playoffs, we're really going to be serious about this, that has to be the past, and we have to start playing like a championship team today.
The Packers are another team who have lost 2 in a row, John.
Well, and I think more than losing 2 in a row is probably losing their starting quarterback, Don Majkowski, who was one of the best in the league, and, of course, their leader. And he, of course, is out with a season with that shoulder, and they need it today because the Packers are not a running team. They don't have that strong running game, so it's going to fall today on Anthony Dilweg's shoulder and his offensive line. He is going to have great protection and a good day throwing the football.
The Packers have won the toss, and Roger Ruzek will kick off for the Eagles. Back deep for the Packers, Charles Wilson, Vince Workman, and Clarence Weathers. There's Wilson, who's one of the best in the NFC. It is getting cooler. Temperatures were in the 50s. It has dropped into the 40s, and it is overcast. Weathers on the 7. And bringing it out to the 32-yard line is Herman Fontenot. 27-yard return for Fontenot. Anthony Dilweg making his 4th consecutive start for the Packers. And the offensive front, Ken Rutgers, Billy Orr, James Campton, Ron Hallstrom starting for Keith Euchre, Tony Mandarich at right tackle, and Ed West is the tight end. Keith Woodside and Michael Haddix are the running backs. And the wide receivers are Perry Kemp and the dangerous Sterling Sharp. Woodside comes out wide to the right. 1st and 10 on the 33. Dilweg's first pass is incomplete, intended for the tight end Ed West. Byron Evans covering. The Eagles defensively up front, Reggie White, Mike Golick, Jerome Brown, and Clyde Simmons. The linebackers are Seth Joyner, Byron Evans, and Jesse Small. And in the secondary, Ben Smith and Eric Allen are the cornerbacks, and Wes Hopkins and Andre Waters are the safeties. 2nd down and 10. Darrell Thompson has replaced Woodside in the backfield for Green Bay. Thompson gets the call. Gets about a yard. Call it 3 yards. Andre Waters and Mike Golick come up to make the stop, and that will bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, it was interesting on that first pass play, Dick. The Packers figured they're going to come out and throw on 1st down, and Reggie White ran right over Tony Mandarich and hit Dilweg just as he threw it. So then they come back on the next play and they trap Reggie White. That's pretty smart. Try and get him to think, hey, we're going to trap you too. You better not take off too much.
4 wide receivers, including Jeff Query and Herman Fontenot, out of the shotgun on 3rd and 7. Dilweg's pass is caught by Query, and the Packers have a 1st down into Eagle territory and a pickup of 21 yards. Izell Jenkins, the Eagle nickelback, makes the tackle.
You know, Dilweg is going a heck of a lot more to Jeff Query. He comes in when they bring in 4 wide receivers on passing downs. And he's the fastest Packer of the receivers. So it seems like in their patterns lately that they've been looking for Jeff Query. Now watch how you're going to block a Reggie White. No one guy is going to block him. Mandarich can't do it by himself. See, Mandarich gets him, then boom, Hallstrom comes over and hits him. They're going to double him from now on every pass.
Keith Woodside is met head on by a front of storming Eagles. The Packers have not been very effective rushing. Last week they gained only 13 yards, a franchise low against Seattle in a game that time of only 1.
Well, and that's the type of thing that Lindy and Fonte was talking about last night, that they just can't keep doing that, just passing all the time, that they're going to have to run and not get away from it.
2nd down and 9 on the Eagle 47. Dilweg off balance was going for his tight end, Ed West, and he was covered by Andre Waters. William Frizzell was also covering.
Anthony Dilweg was saying last week was a terrible week for him. In fact, Blair Keel came in and replaced him in the at the end of the game. But he was saying what he was doing is he was leaving the pocket too soon. He was getting off his reads too quickly, and he said not hanging in there. He said he doesn't know what caused that, but it was all in his mechanics. And this week he wants to hang in the pocket more. Now that sounds good, but when you got a guy like big old Reggie White, 92, rushing at you, it's tough to hang in there.
3rd down and 9 out of the shotgun, and a quick pass complete to Kemp. Close to first down yardage. The Packers had to get to the 38.5-yard line. They got 8 yards that time. The Dallas Cowboys defeat the Phoenix Cardinals 41-10 in a very big game for the Cowboys. And we have a player shaken up on the field. It'll be 4th and 1.
The player is Wes Hopkins. Yeah, he looked like he hurt his left knee.
Fourth down, and the Packers will kick. Don Bracken. Back deep for the Eagles is Rod Harris. And a good kick. Fair catch called for by Harris, and the Packers are there to down it inside the 5. And they'll down it at about the 2-yard line. 37-yard punt by Bracken, and he couldn't have done it any better. Wes Hopkins trying to walk off an injury earlier. Randall Cunningham, the #1 rated passer in the NFC in the Philadelphia offensive front. Ron Heller, Mike Shadd, David Alexander, the center. Ron Solt and Reggie Singletary. Keith Jackson, the tight end. Anthony Toney will start in the backfield along with Keith Byers and 2 outstanding rookie wide receivers, Fred Barnett and Calvin Williams. As the Eagles start from their 2-yard line with 2 tight ends. Mickey Schuler in there with Jackson. And Toney powers it out impressively to about the 7-yard line. Mark Murphy, the strong safety, makes the tackle. The Packers defensively with a 3-4. Matt Brock, Bob Nelson, and Robert Brown. The defensive line. The linebackers, Scott Stephen, Brian Noble, Johnny Holland, and their best pass rusher, Tim Harris. Mark Lee and Jerry Holmes are the cornerbacks. Chuck Cecil, the free safety, and Mark Murphy, the strong safety. 2nd down and 5 for the Eagles. We'll bring it out to the 7. Toney stood up at about the 9-yard line, a gain of 2. The report on Wes Hopkins, he had a muscle cramp in his leg, and they expect him back in the secondary.
You know, you look at this situation on the field here, this position on the field, and you think all they have to do is use that play they used a couple weeks ago. Remember where Randall Cunningham goes back and out of his own end zone, runs around, a couple guys miss him, and he throws a pass for 100 yards.
3rd down and 2. Buffalo Bills remember that big one, the 95-yard play. And the Packers might have jumped. Cunningham may have a free play. It's off the hands of Keith Jackson, incomplete. And we'll see who that penalty is on.
I think Burnell Dent there, you saw him arguing. He was trying to get an in the grass call. I think the penalty is going to be against the Packers anyway, so that was really a free play for Randall Cunningham. In fact, I was surprised he didn't go deeper. That's when, once you know you got a free play, you try and really get a big one out of it, because even if they intercept it, you're going to get the ball back.
Offsides against the Packers.
You see, here's the side. It's going to jump from over there on that side. And now when he sees that, you see, when he sees the jump, you see up on top there, it's right there. Now he knows he has a free play. Now he's looking and looking and looking, and I'm surprised that he didn't go deep. If you saw way up here in the right-hand corner, he had a man going deep. And usually when you get a free play, you throw it to the deep one.
As as a result of the penalty, the Eagles have a first down on the 15. Mickey Schuler is the one tight end in there, and Anthony Toney slices off left tackle and picks up 3 yards. Brian Noble and Bob Nelson in on the play.
I think when we were talking to Buddy Ryan yesterday, he said that they would like to run. He said that's the one thing that they come into this game, they have to do 2 things offensively. One is be able to run the ball, and 2 is protect Randall Cunningham. And he said the third thing, he says we have to know where Tim Harris is, number 97, on every play and get him blocked.
Tim Harris lining up on the right side, and Cunningham rolling out. Mickey Schuler was covered by Mark Murphy off his fingertips, and that will bring up 3rd down.
See, Cunningham, I wonder where he puts that mouthpiece. After every play, he takes the mouthpiece out of his mouth. You see, because you can't call the plays with the mouthpiece there. See, so he just holds it in his hand. See, now because you got all that, you know, full right, 18 Bobo on 3, you got all that. Then he sticks it back in. Now they can hear the count with the mouthpiece in, but they can't hear the play with the mouthpiece in.
Complicated offense not to be able to be heard clearly.
Yeah.
3rd down and 7 on the 18-yard line. Cunningham has time. Going deep for Barnett, and the pass nearly intercepted by Leroy Butler. It was in his hands as that pass was closer to Butler than it was to Barnett.
Hey, Butler is a rookie defensive back who is going to be a starter and should play a long time in this league. You see, he did the smart thing by getting that left hand up there. The way he got his left hand up there, that tells you where the receiver is and will also pull you in his direction. His momentum of running will pull you with him. That's smart for a rookie.
He's learned quickly, and the snap off the hands of Fiegels in the back of the end zone. Gets rid of it anyway. A penalty marker is down. And a break for the Green Bay Packers in any event, and the ball will fall dead on the 48-yard line, but a flag is down. The kick went 34 yards. And an eligible receiver downfield for the Eagles.
You know, it looked like he was awfully close to stepping on that back line. If he steps on the end line, that's a safety.
And you wonder what official would call that. There's no official standing near that line for that call.
Well, the closest guy would be this guy here, the referee.
Downfield.
Dale Hamer, today's referee. See how close he came.
See, here it is. It looked like he didn't move his body. He just reached his right hand out there. Now, if that ball or his foot touches that back line, then it's a safety. It looked like he just missed it. That was a heck of a play by the punter to get that ball and turn around. But see, he didn't move his body out there. The ball looked like it was pushing out to the right.
The kicking team. The penalty is declined.
But it doesn't look like he touched that back or end line. That makes it a pretty good play.
Britt Hager was the ineligible receiver. A good alert play by Fiegels. Well, here's the latest on the NFC wildcard race. The Dallas Cowboys, by winning, now 7-7, have moved ahead of the Green Bay Packers. Great story in Dallas. Now, as a result of these finals, with Tampa Bay beating Minnesota, the 9th straight loss outdoors, by the way, for the Vikings, and Pittsburgh beating New Orleans, an Eagle victory will give them a wild card berth, along with the Redskins, who clinched one yesterday. 1st and 10 on the 48-yard line for the Packers. Haddix in motion, and Darrell Thompson, the big rookie, gets 5 yards on 1st down. Byron Evans, the middle linebacker, makes the tackle.
See, Tony Mandrich, as he was walking back to the huddle there, he was talking to Ron Hallstrom. I think they were talking about ways that they are going to block Reggie White, because when you talk about dominant players in this league, one of the most dominant is this guy, number 92 here. You don't block him the way you block other defensive linemen. You have to have a special plan to always have at least 2 on him on a pass play.
gets a first down, and Terry Hogue on the tackle. There's Don Mikowski, who underwent surgery for a torn rotator cuff on his right shoulder in San Diego. He had gone to San Diego for a second opinion, and he is lost for the season. It'll be a while, and here's where the injury occurred. It was on November the 18th, the Packers playing against Phoenix. Freddie Joe Nunn chases Mikowski, gets a hand on him, and as he rolls out of bounds, that's where he hurt the right shoulder. First down and 10 for the Packers. They're on the Eagle 40. Michael Haddix gets 2 yards that time, and Byron Evans on the stop. Haddix returning to Philadelphia. His first appearance against the former team that drafted him #1 7 years ago.
Right, and he says he's not trying to make a big thing out of it. You know, he said those guys are still his friends. It's been a while since he's been here, and he didn't want one of those big rivalries. Oh, Haddix is coming back. What's he going to do? And he said he's been trying to say nothing. He said when you play against your friends, you just hope you play well, but you sure don't want to do too much talking.
Not everyone has that same philosophy. Second down and 7. Haddix gets another good hole straight ahead and a first down inside the 30. Well, earlier in talking to Don Mikowski, we asked Don, when did he know it was more serious than he first thought?
I gave it about 2 weeks to recuperate, and I was doing a lot of rehabilitation and so forth. But then the doctors were expecting me to come around and start throwing after about 2 weeks, and there was just no way I could do it. And I tried to throw the Thursday before the Seattle game last Sunday, and I threw for about 10-15 minutes with severe pain. And I thought I could just fight through the pain, but there was just no way I could do it. And then after that, I kind of figured there was something a little bit more wrong.
On first down, Darrell Thompson is hit immediately by Reggie White, making his presence felt.
You know, he was hit because no one blocked Reggie White. Watch him here. He's isolated. He's going to come across. It had to be a trap play, and the trapper didn't get there. Because watch, he comes across. He's looking for a blocker, Now, I said usually you have 2 and 3 guys on Reggie White. That time they had none on him. And if you have none on him, he'll be an all-pros, all-pro, all-time all-pro.
No gain. It'll be second down and 10. Reggie White, the only one of the front 4 who's not banged up. Second and 10 on the 29-yard line. Dillweg looking to throw the ball, gets hit, and it'll go incomplete. Closest to it was Michael Haddix, and Reggie White got a hand on it.
And that was Reggie White. Now you watch him right here. They're going to double him here with the tight end and Mandarich. He gets here, boom, right through Mandarich, and he gets to Dillweg. Watch him. Ed West stays in there. He bumps him. There's Mandarich. He just pushes Mandarich off to the outside, goes right inside, and gets his hand on there as the ball's going out.
So Reggie White has been a force on this sequence, and a third down and 10.
If Mandarich doesn't get his feet in better position, Reggie White is going to have 7 sacks today.
3 wide receivers line up to the left. Dillweg fires. Penalty marker down, and the pass is caught by Kemp at the 20-yard line. He did not get enough for the first down, but there are 2 penalty markers down. 1 back at the line of scrimmage and 1 where the play ended. A gain of 9, however. And making the stop was Izell Jenkins.
If Dillweg is given time, he can be effective. I mean, when he's had time to throw thus far, he's gotten the ball to his receivers. His receivers are getting open.
Holding number 65 of the offense. 5-yard face mask. Number 26 for the defense. The penalty's offset. Repeat third down.
Okay, the holding is going to be right here on 65, Ron Holstrom, who's starting for the first time this year. You see his guy starts to the inside, and instead of putting that left foot in there, he puts the left hand in there. And then you see the face mask right there by Ben Smith, number 26. Those were the 2 penalties.
Third down and 10.
A lot of times you hold when you have your feet in bad position. That's what happened to Holstrom.
Dillweg's pass is incomplete. It was intended for Weathers. He was looking for a flag because Isel Jenkins was all over him, but that pass wasn't catchable, and that will bring up 4th down for Green Bay.
And again, the other thing, Reggie White was right there at Dilwick's feet again. There's no worse place for a pass rusher to be. Of course, if you hit him in the head and the ball, then that would probably be the worst. But the other place is down at his knees and feet where he can't step and follow through, and that's where Reggie White was.
A 47-yard field goal attempt upcoming. Chris Jackie, who's had a fine year, is connected on 20 of 24 attempts. This is a 47-yarder. Holding is the punter, Don Brackett. And the kick is well short. On line, but short. And the Packers twice have been in Eagle territory and twice have come up empty. Back at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, Dick Stockton along with John Madden. 4:38 remain in the first quarter. No score between the Packers and the Eagles. Twice the Packers have been in Philadelphia territory. And now it's the Eagles' turn, starting from their 30-yard line. Randall Cunningham looking to throw, getting some pressure, and the pass is incomplete. It's intended for Fred Barnett.
You know, let's watch that last pass rush. Here's Tony Mandarich. Now, he has to block Reggie White here. Now, watch what happens while you take a tackle. You can never put your head down. What? See right there? You see 77? He puts his head down. Now, the minute the head goes down, Reggie White just goes right over him. A tackle can never get his nose over his toes, because when that happens, then boom, the guy's at your quarterback feet.
2nd down and 10. The draw play to Tony. And Tony gets a yard. Tony is starting today Heath Sherman, the running back who had been the most productive rusher. Suffered back spasms last week and did not play in the second half in the Eagles' loss to Miami. Third down and 9. Cunningham so far is 0 for 3 in the passing department. Ball on the 31. Cunningham's pass is caught by Keith Jackson. And that'll be good enough for an Eagle first down. A 16-yard gain. Johnny Holland and Mark Lee on the stop, and they have to separate Tim Harris from a few green shirts.
You know, Tim Harris will probably cause more fights than anyone on this field today, because Tim Harris, 1, he's a good football player. 2, he always draws a crowd. And 3, he's a big talker. So sometimes they'll start talking to him. Let's just watch here as we see he's getting blocked there from the front and the back. Now, those things happen to you when you're Tim Harris. They're going to know where he is, and they're always going to have 2 on him.
On first down, Tony gets a couple. Mark Murphy on the stop. That completion by Cunningham was his first of the game, and Harris is still jawing.
Well, yeah, Harris jaws all the time anyway. That's part of his game. And it's funny, he's one of the few players that does a lot of talking that the players on the other team like. You know, they say, yeah, Tim Harris talks all the time, but I like him. He's a good guy.
Some say he didn't make the Pro Bowl a few years ago because he talked much.
Yeah, but then I think after he did make the Pro Bowl, then I think the guys, saw a different Tim Harris.
2nd down and 8. Cunningham wide open to Calvin Williams, and the Eagles will have a first down at the 42-yard line. Chuck Cecil makes the stop, and Williams was wide open.
Calvin Williams, of course, is a rookie, but he came in and he started from game 1. They knew they needed a wide receiver. Calvin Williams was the guy. They just put him in there, started him, and I'll tell you, from day 1, Randall Cunningham really felt comfortable with this guy.
Rich Kotite, the offensive coordinator, says he reminds him a lot of Al Toon, who he had with the New York Jets. First down for the Eagles. Cunningham. Completed pass to Jackson. And the big tight end gets to the 10-yard line and a gain of 33.
I think Cunningham is on the roll. He started off and he was 0 for 3. Couldn't get anything going, and now he's gone 3 for 3 or 4 for 4. He is hot. This is a seam pass. He just puts his tight end right up the seam, watches them all the way, and when you got a guy that big, it's like a runaway truck. And of course, this is the most important thing. You have to have this kind of protection.
And we have an injury on the field. We'll be back to Veterans Stadium in just a moment. Brian Noble, the injured Packer, being helped off the field. Meanwhile, the Eagles have a 1st and goal on the 8-yard line after that big pass play to Jackson. And the pitch to Byers. He's going to throw, and it's caught for a touchdown. Anthony Toney. And that's Byers' 3rd touchdown pass of the season.
I tell you, the thing about that is Byers can throw it, and most teams forget that he's left-handed. So you worry about the run pass to their right. Now Byers comes out here like a run, and because he's left-handed, he can throw the run pass to the left side. And I don't think any defense ever expects a run pass thrown to the left.
Roger Ruzek to add the extra point. Movement in the line. Taya Byers has thrown his touchdown passes against pretty good company. The Giants and the Redskins were the other 2 teams he threw against earlier in the year.
You think eventually people are going to say, hey, when they get down inside the 10-yard line, watch for Byers throwing the ball. Let's watch it again here. We start with motion, then it's a pitch, then that brings everyone up to stop the run. Toney sneaks through. Boom. He had to make a heck of a catch. He was wide open, no one around him, and Byers darn near overthrew him. I mean, that has to be a one-handing leaping grab. Look at Toney's explaining what he did. Yeah, boy, that thing looked like it got away from old Byers.
Illegal procedure call against the Eagles. 5-yard penalty, but Ruzek makes good anyway. I wonder if you can explain making a catch like that, John.
I don't know. He was just telling him what happened to it and how it got away from him. I think that penalty was for canning the center. Remember that thing you used to have when you'd play in the street? Hey, no can in the center. I think what they did, I think the Packers canned the center.
Right now would be a wild card team in the NFC.
They got some real good young players. You see Emmitt Smith there. He had 103 yards today, 4 touchdowns, and Troy Aikman is going to be, I think, the quarterback of the 90s.
Warren Moon threw for 527 yards, 2nd best day in NFL history.
Warren Moon seems to be having a lot of those kind of days lately, doesn't he?
Big day for Dan Marino, and the Falcons have slumped big after a bright early start.
Cleveland finally found someone they can beat.
Jets continue to struggle.
Randall Cunningham had an injury last week. It's a thigh bruise above his knee, and he had a hot hand passing on that drive, but he is yet to run this half.
Ruzek's kick headed for Charles Wilson at the 2-yard line. And great hustle. Mike Bellamy wouldn't let Wilson get away. And a 9-yard return. The Eagles scoring drive, and they did it in a hurry. 70 yards in 7 plays with Keith Byers, the running back, with his 3rd touchdown pass of the year to Anthony Toney. The Packers start out in poor field position. All eyes on Reggie White, the 11-yard line.
Reggie White was kind of the guy that got that thing started on the other end, Dick. Remember, with his rush on Dillwig, and then that got the ball back, and that kind of got the momentum going in the Eagles' favor.
First down. Dillwig's pass is caught. Woodside out of the backfield. Good catch, and Jesse Small making the stop and a gain of 13 yards. So the Packers get out of danger.
You know, if they don't get to him, and we watch Reggie White again here, you see he starts, he fakes to the outside, fakes to the inside, and then he goes to the outside. This is starting to look awfully easy for Reggie White. But we know if Dilweg has time and can get rid of the ball, he can hit his receiver. I mean, the Eagles' defensive secondary is really not one of their strong points.
Statistically, they're near the bottom in pass defense. 1st and 10 on the 24. On the draw play, it's Michael Haddix, and he goes nowhere. Evans and Golick. And a loss of 1. We want to correct a score that we gave earlier. The final score, the Browns did win. The final was 13-10 over the Atlanta Falcons. And that is the end of the first quarter here at Veterans Stadium with the score, the Eagles 7 and the Packers nothing.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Color Gold Film, show your true colors. And by Miller Genuine Draft, with a reminder to please think when you drink this holiday season.
Back in Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia as we start the second quarter. Dick Stockton along with John Madden. The Eagles lead 7-0. The injury to Wes Hopkins a little more serious than first believed. They thought first a cramp in the calf muscle. Now they say it's a pull. He has not been back, and Terry Hogue is in at the safety position. Second down and 11 for the Packers on their 23. Breaks down, and the first sack of the game on a loss of 5 yards. Both Reggie White and Clyde Simmons got in there.
They're going to have to give Tony Mandarich more help. Watch 92 there. He's just too much. Mandarich cannot block this guy. He's just taking him, pushing him right back into the quarterback every play. And he has to give him more help than that. I think they got to get a guard out on him. They got to get a tight end to help. They cannot, because if they have time, they can throw the ball. And the only guy who's really going to give them a heck of a lot of problem is Reggie White. They got to get that handled.
Third down and 16. Dilweg. And the open receiver is Fontenot. Bobbles but holds on and is knocked out of bounds near the sticks, and he appears to have the first down. Fontenot gets the first down. Ben Smith making the stop, and Dilweg now is limping.
Well, I think he was hurt a couple plays ago. I don't think it's just on this play. I think he got it a couple plays ago. See, because here he's clean on that one. I think that he was that he got hurt a couple plays ago.
And a first down for the Packers on the 35. Michael Haddix. And the whole front makes the stop. Dilweg appears to be hurting out there. 3-yard gain on that last play.
Well, there's Blair Keel, who came in last week and had a real hot hand. See, he threw for 2 touchdown passes, and sometimes he's a 6-year veteran, and sometimes when a guy comes in a backup role and darn near brings you back, I think it's smart not to start him. You know, get into that quarterback controversy. He proved that he can come in, you know, and get something going for you, then leave him in that position.
The Redskins went with a relief pitcher earlier this year, didn't they, at quarterback?
Yeah, and I think that was a mistake, too.
Second down and 8. Dilweg. And the pass is batted down. It was ruled a forward pass. Jerome Brown knocked it away.
I'll tell you, big Jerome Brown, he gets that weight going forward, and you try and take a three-step drop, that's going to be an avalanche. Just watch that. I mean, he's only taking a 3-step drop, and he looks like he tried to hold that ball back, like he saw a defensive guy down there and not throw it. See, it's a short 3-step drop. He looks like he changed his mind in the middle of it and just tried to throw it right into the group. But it's hard to take a 3-step drop with this kind of pass protection against this Eagle defense.
Third down and 8, and here comes a blitz from the secondary, and the pass intended for Jeff Query is incomplete. Dillwig now 4 for 10, and he's had a battering first half.
Yeah, and they can. I mean, they have to get this protection settled down. They have to get this settled down, because if they will give him time where he can step up and throw the ball, they can get open.
Don Bracken will kick for the Packers. Rod Harris, who was picked up from the Dallas Cowboys, back for the Eagles. 13:26 remaining in the second quarter. 7-0, the Eagles lead the Packers. Good kick. Harris heading for the sideline, is hit and down hard at the 33 by Charles Wilson. 10-yard return following that 41-yard punt. In the NFC wildcard race, the Redskins wrapped up a berth yesterday. The Eagles, with a victory today, would do the same, and the Dallas Cowboys, by virtue of their win over Phoenix, have moved ahead of Green Bay, so this is an important game for the Packers. Now, if the season were to end right now, this would be the matchups in the first round. Dallas would be playing the Chicago Bears, and the Eagles and the Redskins would play the 49ers and the Giants. The top 2 division winners in the NFC would host the victors. First and 10 for the Eagles on their 32. Calvin Williams in motion. And a fake, and the pass is caught by Byers. Keith Byers, quite a load at 240 pounds, is run out of bounds by Jerry Holmes after picking up 15 yards.
And I don't know that Randall Cunningham didn't get hurt on that play either, because Tim Harris is going to hit him after he throws the ball. Watch Tim Harris come there. He gives him the hit there, but that is really some one-handed catch by Byers. We saw him throw one, and the one-handed catch by Tony. Then watch this. You see him, he just throws him to the ground, and it looked like as Cunningham was going that he hurt something on the way down.
And a first down on the Eagle 46. Cunningham has a lot of time. He signaled for the receiver to go deep to Barnett. He makes the great catch inside the 10. Out jumping Jerry Holmes.
You see Cunningham, he just put his hands out like, yeah, that's it.
48 yards.
You talking about street football, that's it. The old one where the quarterback stands back there and tells the guy, go deep, go as far as you can. I'll throw it as far as I can. I'll tell you, watch him out jump him there. That is some leap. I mean, that ball is up there. Both guys are there. But Barnett went up about 7 feet. 7 feet off the ground. But I like the way Cunningham gave him the thing. Go, go. You know, the old left hand deal.
Make a cut at the street lamp, right?
Yeah.
First and goal at the 7. Anthony Tony fights his way to the 5-yard line where Bob Nelson makes the stop.
But you know, the other thing, you talk about the throw and Cunningham telling him where to go and Barnett with the leap. But I'll tell you what, it had to be good pass protection, because Cunningham had so much time. He could look, he could direct traffic and throw the ball, and no one was near him.
And time to point as well.
Yeah, that was all part of the package.
Second and goal at the 5, and the Eagles leading 7-0, threatening again. And a play fake, and the pass is thrown over Calvin Williams. The Packers were coming in on Cunningham. Not quite sure if he was throwing this away. He did have a receiver in the back of the end zone.
That was awfully close. Matt Brock was right on him. I think it was kind of a combination. I think he had a receiver, but I also think he had Matt Brock right there, and he had to get rid of it at that time.
Cunningham has yet to run today. He has completed 5 of 9 passes for 120 yards. Third and goal at the 5. Once again, Cunningham with time, and he'll throw this one away. That's the patience that Randall has learned in the last couple of years.
Well, that's the thing. I think that you know he has his leg is bothering him. He told us yesterday that he probably won't run as much, and if he does, he won't run as fast. And he's learned that to look and look. If he was feeling well, he would have ran that one. not now. This with this leg thing, I think he just had to throw it away.
Roger Ruzek will attempt a 22-yard field goal. Jeff Eagles will hold. The kick is no good. It's off to the left. So the Packer defense held inside the 10, and then Ruzek misses a chip shot. Well, Saturday, beginning at noon Eastern, the same Green Bay Packers will square off against longtime rival Detroit. And you will see this man, Barry Sanders, the #1 rusher in the NFC, and a chance to see some of his dazzling moves. The Packers and Lions, Saturday on CBS.
You know, when he makes moves like that, Dick, he looks impossible to tackle that Barry Sanders way. He goes down the field on artificial turf. There's Randall Cunningham. He's talking to his offensive coordinator, Richie Kotite. Probably about not as much what happened on that last third down play, but what you're going to do the next time you get down there.
Darrell Thompson on 1st and 10 from the 20, stopped by Mike Golick, gain of 2 yards.
Look at the pressure that Dilweg had. He's only been sacked 1 time. He's been hurried 6 times where he had to throw before he wanted to. Knocked down 5 times. That's a big thing. That's starting to tell. And 2 batted balls. And that's just about the first quarter all those things have happened to him. And to me, that's the story right there. That's what the Packers are going to have to overcome today.
2nd down and 8. The ball at the 22. Pass, Jeff Query on a slant pattern. Eric Allen makes the tackle and a gain of 11. It'll be a 1st down for the Green Bay Packers beyond the 30.
Yeah, we talk about the pressure, and this is Reggie White. He got a half a sack. He's knocked down the quarterback 1 time. He's batted 1 ball, and he's made him hurry 4 times. So again, if they're going to, you know, this is the big contributor to that. And I think that either 1 or 2 things, either they have to start getting him blocked or he has to get tired.
Dilweg said he wasn't going to worry about 1 man. He should start.
Well, 92's over the center now. Another guy has to worry about him.
1st and 10. Thompson runs into a brick wall, but picks up 3. Big rookie running back from Minnesota.
This is James Campen is the center now, blocking Reggie White. He said he learned the first thing you have to do is get your left hand up on him. Get the left hand, grab some cloth, and then start blocking him. He said, where'd you learn that? Well, Billy Ard, who plays next to him as a left guard, called up Bart Oates from the Giants, and he said, how do you block Reggie White when he lines up over the center? And Oates told him that. Get your left hand up quickly and grab cloth.
Would know. Dilweg's pass was intended for Woodside, thrown behind him, and Jesse Small was closest to the ball. Ryan Noble leaving the game has a sprained knee, and he is not expected to return.
Yeah, if we look where Reggie White is lined up, he's lined up 12 times here over the tight end. He's lined up 9 times over the tackle, and he's lined up 2 times over the center. So they'll move him to those 3 positions, usually on the left side, over the tight end, over the tackle, and once in a while bring him over the middle.
3rd down and 7 out of the shotgun. Dilweg is going to go deep for Sterling Sharp. We haven't mentioned his name today, the top receiver for the Packers, and he's covered by Eric Allen, incomplete, and that will bring up 4th down.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy, Sterling Sharp, one of the best wide receivers in the league. He has bad ribs, and his ribs bother him so much that he can't even practice. He hasn't practiced in 3 weeks. He just comes out, doesn't practice all week, just guts it up and comes out and plays the game. Talking about ribs there, they're checking someone's ribs. That's Andre Waters. Otho Davis is the trainer, and checking him over in the sideline.
Don Brackett with a kick and a chance for a return for Ron Harris. And a good one as Harris turns on the Jets and gets to the 45-yard line. A gain of 18 yards on the return. And also next Saturday at 3:45 Eastern, CBS Sports season premiere of college basketball. The Duke Blue Devils, who have advanced to the Final Four in 4 of the last 5 years, take on Billy Tubbs' Oklahoma Sooners. They scored 172 points in winning last night. Blair Keel loosening up on the sideline for the Packers. The Eagles with a first down on their 45. Byers gets into Packer territory after picking up 6. He is the first ball carrier other than Tony to rush today for the Eagles. Burnell Dent and Johnny Holland made the stop on Byers.
You know, Keith Byers coming into this game had caught 71 passes, and I started thinking, you know, we have to pick the all-Madden team at the end of the year, and Byers catches a ball, he runs the ball, and I've seen him make some of the greatest blocks that I've seen anyone make this year. This guy, I got to look at him a little more. I'm going to watch him closely here.
He threw a touchdown pass today. What more do you want?
That's right. Yeah. He's thrown 3 touchdown passes.
Anthony Tony tries to go outside and gets only a yard.
Boy, there's some hitting down there now. Did you hear that? That's what it sounds like in the sideline. I know when I first came up to the booth from being a coach, the thing that I missed were those sounds. I mean, when you hear bang, 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 popping and stuff that goes on, and once in a while you get it, and it sure just kind of sounds like the old days.
We got it on that last play.
Those are shooting live bullets down there.
3rd down and 3. Packers have Ron Pitts and Leroy Butler as extra defensive backs. The ball on the 48 of Green Bay. They overload the right. Calvin Williams in motion. Cunningham's pass is batted down. Byers was the intended receiver, but Matt Brock got a hand on it.
That's the second play for Matt Brock. Remember, he was the guy that rushed earlier. He's coming up over the center this time, but he was the guy in an earlier play that made Cunningham throw it when he didn't want to. Here he's getting double teamed, just jumps up and knocks the ball down. Look at, he got stuff bulging out where you shouldn't have stuff bulging out on his arm. That Matt Brock down there, that right arm.
Jeff Eagles will punt. Last time was a bad snap. That's a better one for sure. Jeff Query will let it land. And it'll be down inside the 15-yard line. Well, the Packers haven't had real good field position. That was a 34-yard punt and a good one. Well, tonight on CBS, one dentist says those fillings in your mouth could cause chronic diseases that would make a toothache seem like a pleasure. The head of the AGA says nonsense. It isn't so. Well, is it? Watch 60 Minutes tonight. That's followed by Murder, She Wrote and a CBS special, Sinatra 75, The Best Is Yet to Come. That's tonight on CBS. The Eagles lead the Packers 7-0. Each team has missed a field goal. Packers starting from their 14-yard line. 6:39 remaining in the first half. Clyde Simmons is trying to get to Dillwig in a hurry. 2 penalty markers are down.
False start. Number 75.
Drawn off by Ken Rutgers, the left tackle.
And you see, I think that Dillwig is starting to realize the pressure he's getting from his right side, because he's starting to go back in favor towards that left now, which is really pretty smart. I mean, that's not a bad thing to do, because that pressure from his right is going to be there all day. There's always going to be that penetration, and he's going to have a little better chance to step up if he stays in the middle or even moves a little to his left.
1st and 15 from the 9. Dillwig's pass is caught by Sterling Sharp, his first reception, and it's good for 8 yards. Andre Waters and Eric Allen combine on the play.
Yeah, the thing that is so amazing about Sterling Sharp as a wide receiver, he is a very strong guy, and he's very difficult to tackle. He gets open and catches the balls like other wide receivers, but then when he turns and gets the ball, he can break tackles. Now, he has bad ribs and so on and isn't the same as he would be, but when he is very powerful and explosive.
That was Ben Smith, the rookie, who combined on the play. 2nd down and 7. Protection that time for Dilweg, but Reggie White trying to get him from behind as the receivers were covered, and Dilweg looks like he's shaken up again.
I think Dilweg was hurt earlier, and we saw him where we saw him limping before. We saw Blair Keel warming up before, and I think that this is just coming towards the finish here on Anthony Dilweg. This isn't the first one. You see, again, it's that pressure from his right. He tries to get out of it by going up the middle, and again, Reggie White is just there, but I don't think that injury occurred on that play. That one occurred a couple series ago.
Might have aggravated it, obviously, and Keel appears to be coming in.
Well, you can see it. It's when he starts out running. You see, he's going to start out, and it looks like it goes right there. You see that? You see he's already hopping before he even gets hit. So I think that was an earlier injury. And that earlier injury was just caused by way too much Reggie White.
Taking snaps with James Camp in the center on the sideline is Blair Keel.
You know, if you look at staying healthy and the quarterbacks, look, over 2 seasons, there's only 4 quarterbacks that have started every game. One of them, of course, is in this game, Randall Cunningham, which is amazing. The other 3 are Marino, Everett, and Warren Moon. Of course, on that list before this injury, or before this year, was Don Makowski. He was a guy who started every game last year.
And it's interesting that both Moon and Cunningham are quarterbacks who like to run, placing him in maybe more danger.
You know, but I think, like Buddy Ryan says about Randall Cunningham, he says it places him in less danger. He says there's no more dangerous spot than sitting in the pocket with a whole bunch of guys coming in on you. If you can get out of there and get in the open field and one-on-one, that's not as dangerous. And I kind of agree with that.
Blair Keel takes over at quarterback on 3rd and 7 on the 17-yard line. Keel's pass bounced in front of William Frizzell. Not even close to Jeff Query, the intended receiver. So Keel, not that much time to warm up, and of course he was the quarterback who very nearly brought the Packers back in a dramatic comeback win over the Seahawks that fell short last week.
Yeah, and the Seahawks didn't have that pass rush that he's going to see today if the Eagles can keep it up. That's been the whole story of this game so far, is the Eagle pass rush defeating the Packer offensive line, or blockers.
Don Bracken will kick for the 4th time. You saw Ron Harris back deep for Philadelphia. High kick. Harris bobbles the kick. Recovers down the sideline, and Bracken helps to knock him out of bounds inside the 30. A return of 30 yards by Ron Harris after he muffed the punt.
You know, that happens so often when a guy drops or just drops the ball a little. It throws the whole timing off. And a lot of times if a guy staggers or something at the beginning, he'll end up getting a big run. Now, I don't know why, but over the years, I've seen it happen so many times, just like this.
Good pickup by the Philadelphia Eagles.
The Eagles are looking pretty good. I think what they have to do is be able to get the ball in the end zone. Remember last time they got stopped and missed a field goal.
Anthony Toney gets 2 yards on 1st down, and the crowd boos. They want to see either Cunningham running more, and maybe he can't because he's not 100%, or throwing the ball. They don't like that running play.
No, I think you're right. I think that they were frustrated because they got down there last time, and as we said, they didn't get the touchdown, and they didn't even get the field goal. And these people are used to seeing Randall Cunningham, and as you say, he has yet to run today. If he's not going to run, they want to see him throw it.
2nd down and 8. That punt return was the longest for the Eagles this year and going back to last year. And the pass is caught, and a fine catch in the crowd by Fred Barnett. And a gain of 9. He's made one leaping and made one diving.
That is a confidence in a quarterback. You know, they say that forcing the ball is one thing, but having the confidence that you can zip that ball in there between those 2 defenders like that, that is a heck of a throw. You know, and the difference between confidence and forcing is a very fine line. I think Randall Cunningham has confidence.
3 for 6 in each of the first 2 quarters passing wise. A first down, and on the reverse, Calvin Williams. And Williams gets only 2 yards. Scott Stephen with some good hustle.
Well, I think we just found one thing that Randall Cunningham isn't really good at, Dick, and that's blocking. I don't know if you saw that block, but watch Cunningham. On the reverse, sometimes a quarterback has to block. So he pitches a ball out, and then it's going to be handed off. Now watch number 12 right here, that block there. Well, I guess we didn't see it there. But I don't know what you call this. I guess it's a hip block. But that was a different looking block. I've never seen one like, I've never taught it that way.
On 2nd and 8, Cunningham going into the end zone. Double coverage on Calvin Williams by both Mark Murphy and Mark Lee. Well, if he's not going to run, John, I wonder why they're having him block.
Well, I don't think he meant to. I think they probably told him just hand off, getting away somehow, and that's what he did. I would think that if he hasn't run yet so far this half, and I think the odds of him running on this play would be very, very high on this 3rd and 8.
On the 16-yard line of Green Bay. They send Byers out left. Pass overthrown. Fred Barnett covered by Mark Murphy. That'll be in 4th down, and Ruzek will come in.
That's the thing that bothers you and frustrates you, is when you can get the ball and you get the opportunities and you can't get the scores.
Ruzek missed a 22-yard field goal after the Eagles had a first down inside the 10. So the Green Bay defense has held pretty well, and this will be a 33-yard attempt for Ruzek. 3:11 remaining in the first half. Jeff Beagles, the punter, holding.
They haven't had a good day. The punter and the holder, they're calling timeout. There's something that Beagles looked at he didn't like. I don't know if he was back far enough or time was running out or what.
David Alexander, the center, in the middle of that discussion. So the Eagles use up their first timeout of the first half. Eagles call the timeout. This will be a 34-yard attempt here. And this kick is perfect. Roger Ruzek with a 34-yard field goal has extended the Eagles' lead to 10-0 with 3:07 left in the second quarter. Well, next Sunday, join CBS Sports for NFL doubleheader action in the early games. Many of you will see Dallas at Philadelphia. Others will see Tampa Bay at Chicago or the Rams at Atlanta. Then in the late games, most of you will see New Orleans at San Francisco, while others will see the New York Giants at Phoenix. That all gets started on CBS Sports at 12:30 Eastern with the last word before kickoff, the NFL Today. Coming up at halftime, scores and highlights with Greg Gumbel and Terry Bradshaw. A wild card whopper.
Yeah, I know. I think they better start getting the ball in the end zone a little more, than that whopper would be bigger. I think that's what they need when they get down around the 20. They need a whopper. I think what the Packers need is a whopper to block Reggie White.
A whopper up front.
Yeah, that's really been the thing. I mean, Reggie has really been causing havoc. There's about 3 or 4 players in this league that can dominate a game from defense. Lawrence Taylor's always been one. I think Reggie White is one. Richard Dent can be one. I think, you know, the guy in Buffalo, you have to say that he is one, even though he was saying so himself this week, but I think everyone would agree with him. Charles Haley and the 49ers, I think, is one, but there's only a handful of those guys.
Well, even Reggie White feels that Bruce Smith belongs in that company and is beginning to anyway.
Well, and I think one of the things that bothered Reggie White and bothered a lot of guys is Lawrence Taylor. You know, everyone that comes in the league and gets a couple sacks, they say he's another Lawrence Taylor, and Lawrence Taylor has been doing it for so long that he really has, you know, the pelts on his belt, and he's put the time in it. And before you really compare or say you're better than Lawrence, then do it as well as he's done for as long as he's done it.
Roger Ruzek will kick off. Deep man is Charles Wilson. High, short kick, but high, and it'll be Wilson at the 15-yard line. Penalty marker is down upfield. Wilson still fighting for yardages. Finally down at the 34 following an 18-yard return. William Frizzell met him for the Eagles. It'll be against the return team. 10 yards.
Holding, number 56 on the return, first down.
Burnell Dent, who's one of the captains of the Green Bay Packers, one of the permanent captains. Anthony Dilweg, who had to come out of the game, was shaken up, took off his shoe, working on the taped left ankle.
Yeah, you can see that it is a left ankle. You see he has the brace up there is a knee brace for his left knee. But as he's putting the sock on again, they just put a new tape job on that left ankle.
Blair Keel, the quarterback, 1st and 10 on the 23. And the pass intended for Jeff Query, thrown behind him, as the Packers for the first time come out on first down with their nickel package on offense with Fontenot.
Well, you know, that's one of the things that Lindy and Fonte was saying last night he didn't want to do, is, you know, saying that we haven't been very good at running, but we just don't want to give up on it and stay away from it. And it looks like when you come out with your nickel package on first down that maybe you are giving up on the run.
They have gained 32 yards on the ground, a lot better than the 13 they gained against Seattle last week. 2nd down and 10. Keel is being chased and sacked. They're going to call him in the grasp and sacked inside the 10, and it was Clyde Simmons. 2nd sack by the Eagles.
Well, Clyde Simmons is going to come from right up here on the right side. We see Reggie White's coming up the middle. Clyde Simmons is coming from the outside and the top up there. And then he just gets him right there, and Keel throws the ball away. What happens is Clyde Simmons goes and plays on the left side when Reggie White plays in the middle.
Loss of 14 yards. Jim McMahon is throwing on the sideline. 3rd down and 24. Keel, and his pass is caught by Weathers, and that'll be 10 yards short of a first down. He gained 14 yards, but there's another marker down, a flag at the line of scrimmage.
You know, and that's in the area where it's going to be holding against the Packers. When you see one of those flags in the middle on the line of scrimmage, it's going to be against the Packers. Reggie wants to turn it down so they don't have to play again. He wants to make them punt the ball.
Holding, number 63. The penalty is declined. 4th down.
And that's who they're holding on. Here's 63. That's Camp in the center. And you see, he got that left hand up there just like he was told to, and then he grabbed some cloth. And that's the way, and then he did a seat roll. But they caught that. When you get right there in the middle, that umpire is going to see that one.
Like Bardo said, grab some cloth.
Get the left hand up, grab some cloths. I don't know about the pull down, though.
Don Bracken gets off a good kick. Ron Harris, who had a 30-yard return of a punt the last time, is tackled by Carl Bland. A 43-yard kick. And now we're down to our 2-minute warning with 1:52 to go in the 2nd quarter. Well, there's Don Mikowski in the middle, and Blair Keel and Dilweg, who has an injured arch and could return, but you don't want to end up down to one quarterback.
Well, you know, you can see that Dillweg is there, and he's trying out that arch. Now the question always comes up when you see your number 1 is in street clothes, your number 2 is hobbling, you're playing with your number 3. You wonder who the number 4 is, and if they had to go to that, it would be their wide receiver, Sterling Sharp. Right there. I don't know if he's thinking about that yet.
First down for the Eagles on their 43. And Randall Cunningham is sacked for the first time. Robert Brown, the defensive end. They're going to line up, but loss of 8 yards. The Eagles have 2 timeouts remaining. No huddle.
Just see Brown, he gets good penetration there, just straight up the middle. Cunningham didn't have a chance.
Second down and 18. Up the middle to Keith Jackson. Jackson close to the first down. He picked up 18 yards. Holland and Cecil on the stop, and he was wide open up the middle. And a timeout called by the Eagles. We're back at Veterans Stadium. The Eagles have used 2 timeouts. They have 1 left with 1:22 to go in the first half. 1st and 10 on the Green Bay 47. Out of the shotgun. Cunningham's pass is incomplete. Barnett, the intended receiver.
You know, one thing, this Eagle D offense is struggling a little, and it's struggling because it's becoming more one-dimensional when Cunningham doesn't run. You know, it's interesting. The Eagles are number 2 in running in the league with Cunningham run. You take Cunningham's run out of there, and they're like 21st in the league. And that's what they look like offensively this half.
On 2nd and 10, pass is caught by Barnett, runs out of bounds and appears to have the first down. We'll check. Jerry Holmes makes the stop, and you can see the confidence that Randall Cunningham has in both rookies, particularly Barnett in this first half.
And you know, Cunningham is starting to look more like Joe Montana, relaxed in the pocket. You know, all quarterbacks do the same thing, but some of them make it look so much harder, like, you know, so much more hard work. And some guys look so relaxed in that pocket. Montana's the most relaxed guy I've ever seen, and Cunningham is starting to get that relaxed look in the pocket.
Kind of an effortless look.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they're doing the same thing, and some guys just make it look so much easier.
First down and 10 at the 37 of Green Bay with 1:12 to go. Cunningham's pass, and Barnett makes the catch. It was tipped, and Barnett stayed with it. And Cunningham has to love this guy. And a first down. 25 yards on that play.
I know, and he had to throw that around the rush because Tim Harris was coming free. Watch Harris right there. He was just coming on Cunningham as he threw that ball.
Cunningham's pass into the end zone. It's a touchdown to Keith Byers. From Randall Cunningham, and he zipped it downfield in a hurry, didn't he?
I'll tell you, he looked a heck of a lot like Joe Montana on this whole series. Coming down here, relaxed in the pocket, getting rid of the ball, finding his guys, zipping it in there, moving his team methodically down the field with time running out.
Roger Ruzek's kick is good. So Keith Byers has thrown for a touchdown and has caught one, and Randall Cunningham with a career-high 27 touchdown passes with 44 seconds remaining in the first half, and a great catch that set it up, John.
This was the one, you know, you always talk about receivers and coming back and concentration. That one has all those things.
Butler and Murphy were all around Barnett, who made the great catch, and he's got 4 receptions for 91 yards, and now the touchdown pass.
Hey, sometimes you just stay with those rookies, and they will amaze you. And then when you really need the touchdown, go to the old veteran. He came into this game, Byers, with 71 pass receptions. As you said, now he's thrown one and he's caught one for a touchdown. We've seen him block. What more do you need from a running back?
He has now caught a touchdown pass in each of the last 3 games.
You know, and all this is without Randall Cunningham running. You know, we talk about that he could have been the first 1,000-yard rushing quarterback. And I think probably had he not hurt his leg last week, he would have been able to give that thing a pretty good run. But he has decided today that he wasn't going to run. They're not going to be in a shootout now, it doesn't look like. So he could go and maybe not run at all this game.
Eagles lead 70-0. 17-0. Why try it? And they went 57 yards in little over a minute for the score. 44 seconds remain, and the Eagles can clinch a wild card berth if they go on and win this game, with the Vikings and Saints losing earlier today. Redskins are already in the playoffs. Roger Ruzek kicking off. The short kick, and Charles Wilson will return it starting from the 15. Gets out of the pack and goes outside and has a very impressive return of 32 yards. We're at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Sellout crowd as the Eagles lead the Packers 17-0 with 34 seconds remaining in the first half. Dick Stockton along with John Madden. Greg and Terry will have scores and highlights coming up. Blair Keel in relief of the starting quarterback, Anthony Dilweg, who has a sore arch on the sideline. Packers have not scored in the first half in the last 3 games. They begin from their own 48. Keel gets time, and is Sterling sharp, and he drops the ball. Wide open, dropped it at the 30-yard line.
That has to kill Sterling Sharp, because here's a guy who we said hasn't practiced at all in 3 weeks, and you know, you could expect that these things are going to happen, but Sterling Sharp doesn't expect them to happen. He has a great deal of pride in his ability to get open and catch the ball. And as I said earlier, you know, that secondary of the Eagles is there to be had if you could just get some time.
Second down and 10. Keel in trouble. Penalty marker down. And so is Keel. Dick Shapura.
And I think James Campen, I think he held on Reggie White again. It was the same play we saw before. White gets up over Campen. Watch him straight over the center here. Here's Reggie White. Here's Campen. Watch what happens as they get back there. He gets that left hand up. He grabs, and then he just goes to the ground and pulls him down.
Number 63.
And then he grabbed him by the leg.
Third down.
That's a double dipper. That's a double dipper.
Two for the price of one.
I'll tell you, he really did get him. They always said that's what Bart Oates says, get your left hand up quickly and grab some cloth. Well, Campen added one thing to it, the takedown.
That black band that you see on the right wrist of James Campen is in the memory of his best friend's father, who passed away. Third down and 17 with 23 seconds to go in the first half. Blair Keel's pass, and it's wrestled away, incomplete. Perry Kemp and Terry Hogue, and Hogue very nearly won. And it is an interception. He did win.
Yeah, Hope did win. He kept the ball and ran off the field with it, so it had to be an interception.
Weathers is limping, hopping.
Watch Hogue. He does a heck of a job of cutting that thing off. That's what you call getting a jump on it, cutting it off. He cut off Weathers. Oh, he didn't catch that. Watch it. They didn't see that. They'll review this one. He does a heck of a job of getting in there. then he's fighting the ball, and the ball is loose right there. It comes out.
So he didn't win after all, maybe.
I don't know, but maybe they'll say the ground can't cause a fumble, too. I'm sure they're going to review this, because when he goes down now, he does have control of it, and then it comes out when the ball hits the ground. No, that's okay. That's a legal reception.
Terry Hogue, who came in at safety, replacing the injured Wes Hopkins. And it is ruled an interception, and the ball was blown dead. So that's the first turnover of the game, and the Eagles, they're working on Weathers there, who got hurt. So the Eagles will get another chance. And Weathers did not practice either this week. He's had the flu.
You see Weathers coming in here, coming in the middle. You see now he just pulled up before that play ever came in there. I mean, it was something in his right leg that he pulled or tore or did something, because he stopped before there was ever any contact at all.
Packers have used a timeout here. And the Eagles have 18 seconds left, leading 17-0. They're on the Green Bay 46.
I think when you're getting ready to go into playoffs, I think this is where you want to have these kind of drives like Randall Cunningham and the Eagles just had within the 2-minute drill. Then you get an interception. Then you'd like to pump another one in here. Then those are plays that playoff teams are made out of.
Myers splits to the left on first down, and Cunningham runs for the first time today. And he'll run out of bounds untouched, but will pick up 9 yards, and short of a first down by a yard with 11 seconds remaining in the half.
You can see that Cunningham is kind of limping a little when he's running, and he's even grabbing that left leg. I don't think that's something that he wanted to do, was to run with the ball on that play. He explained to us last night that he said he's going to look a little slower. He said one thing, those black shoes make him look slow. That leg is going to slow him up.
Second down and 1. And this pass is caught by Barnett with 5 seconds to go, and the clock stops at the 20. A gain of 17, and that will set up Roger Ruzek with a chance for 3 more.
At some point in a year, a guy who is a rookie is not a rookie anymore. And I think that Barnett has come to this point. When you make a play like that, and then you know there's only a couple seconds, you get it out of bounds, a play like that gives your team a field goal.
5 catches for Barnett. That's his season's high. He has 108 yards. He had 114 against the Vikings. And now Roger Ruzek with a 37-yard attempt with 5 seconds to go in the first half. And the kick is no good, off to the right as time runs out, and that is the end of the first half with the score: the Philadelphia Eagles 17 and the Green Bay Packers nothing.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Dodge for performance, quality, safety, and value. Welcome home, America. Tots, the premium choice. And by Citizen Watches. Citizen, we've got elegant. CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Mitsubishi. The word is getting around. Today's Duracell, the copper top battery. And by GTE. At GTE, the power is on.
Back at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where the Eagles lead the Packers 17-0 in an important game for both teams. Of course, if the Eagles win, they are in the wild card because the Vikings and the Saints lost, and Green Bay could fall behind Dallas. And the question is, for Green Bay, what do they have to come back with to get in the game?
Well, of course, they have to be able to do the one thing. You know, it was interesting. They started running a little early. In the first quarter, I think they had like 25 yards. Then they seemed just to forget the run. Now, against this defense, they can't do that. Then the second thing is just that Eagle pass rush. Wherever they put Reggie White, if they put him over Tony Mandrich, he can't block him. Then they put him over the center, James Campen, he can't block him. And I think they have to come up with either a little more running and a different design to always have two guys on Reggie White.
On the other side of the ball, even though the Packers have kind of bent but not broken, they've really stopped a lot of Philadelphia drives. Cunningham has gained a lot of confidence with some big plays and that quick drive that got the touchdown toward the end of the half.
Well, what we're doing here, Dick, is seeing Randall Cunningham as a quarterback because, as we said in the first half, the Eagles are number 2 in the league in rushing, and that's with Randall Cunningham being a big part of it. You take Randall Cunningham's runs out of there, and they're like 21st, so that's what we're seeing today. We're seeing a team that would be like 21st in running, but a top passing team. And I think the way that Cunningham is feeling, the way that this game is going, I don't think we're going to see a lot of him running in the second half.
We may not see Dilweg in the second half either because he has not yet come out on the field. He suffered an injured arch. He was shaken up on a sack and then came out after was aggravated a little later on, and Blair Keel played most of the second quarter.
You know, and that's always a nightmare for a coach, you know, when you only have 2 and then one goes down and then you only have 1, and knowing that you got that emergency backup, and in the Packers case it's Sterling Sharp, they were probably giving him a quick course at halftime.
Chris Jackie kicking off. Thomas Sanders returning for the Eagles. Sanders stopped at the 20-yard line by Tiger Green. A game return of 15 yards.
You know, Randall Cunningham had a slow start passing, and then he got hot. You look under 10 yards, 3 for 8. That was not real good. And then in that 10 to 20 area, 5 for 8. That is real good percentage. 21 to 30 yards. Well, look what he was. He was 2 for 2 in that area. So, you know, the deeper he goes, the better he got in that area between 10 and 30 yards, and then just 1 out of 2 over 40 yards. So that was a good passing half for Randall Cunningham after a slow start.
Jackie Harris, tight end, shaken up on the kickoff.
You hear it looks like he was hit by his own man here. You see Jackie Harris, number 80, sliding off a tackle, and then it looks like his own man got him right there on the pile. That'll happen on special teams. There's always going to be about, on the cover, there's always going to be about 4 or 5 of your guys against one of their guys. So if there's going to be an injury, it's usually going to be your own guy.
You were talking about Cunningham's passing. Barnett made a great leaping catch, a diving catch, and there were a couple of one-handed receptions as well.
Yeah, and then Cunningham didn't do all the passing either because Byers threw one of those for a touchdown.
First down and 10. Anthony Toney back to the line of scrimmage, and Burnell Dent with the hard hit. No gain.
And we look at Randall Cunningham, we said I think he started out 0 for 3 or 0 for 4. In fact, in the first quarter, he was 3 for 6, 59, just kind of getting the feel of it, you know, getting the feel of the game. Then in the second quarter, 8 out of 14 for 152 yards and his touchdown. Going in the direction he's going now.
Second down and 10. They fake a pass. And it's off the hands of a Packer, Tiger Green. Looked like he didn't expect the ball to be thrown right at him like that.
It sounded like it hurt him. Did you hear him? It hit him, and he kind of went, oh, like he'd just been punched with a left hand from Mike Tyson or something. Let's just listen to it.
Looks like it was an uppercut.
Yeah.
Sounded like an uppercut.
Yeah, that left followed behind the right.
Third down and 10. Cunningham's pass is incomplete. Calvin Williams, the intended receiver, and Chuck Cecil was defending. So 3 and out in a hurry, and the Eagles will kick, and there's Jackie Harris being tended to on the Packer bench. Rich Kotite. Jeff Eagles will kick. Jeff Query goes back deep for the Packers. And a good high kick sends Query back to his 35-yard line, and he gets tripped up. Otherwise, he might have been off. It was Kenny Jackson who tripped him up in a return of 12 yards following the 44-yard punt by Jeff Eagles.
Well, one thing the Packers are going to get here is a good field position.
Well, this is on the scoreboard here at Veterans Stadium for Pat Summerall, and we couldn't have truer sentiments. The Eagles and his good friends at CBS wish you a speedy recovery. I'm filling in for him this afternoon. Hospitalized with bleeding ulcers, and the report down in the Florida hospital is that Pat is doing remarkably well, and that's great news.
Well, that is great news, and you know, I mean, he knows that we all wish him the best, and you know, it just doesn't feel the same. You know, I mean, you're here for 10 years, and Pat Summerall's not here, and of course, the first thing you want him to do is, I got to just get better, and second thing is get back, and we'll just keep things going here until you get back, Pat. We miss you.
You guys have made a great team. First down for the Packers on their 31. Michael Haddix goes outside and picks up some good yardage. 7 yards that time. Jesse Small making the stop on the pursuit.
You know, here's the story. This is a combined, you know, Dillwig and Keel, both of them. They've been sacked 3 times, hurried 8, knocked down 6, had 2 batted balls and 1 interception. And again, that's just the first half, and that's really the story of the game. And I think that maybe they have to get some running to get some of this pressure off, and maybe they just have to get some different designs to block against Reggie White.
Second down and 3 from the 38-yard line. Darrell Thompson now is the setback for the Packers. And a play fake. Keel has a lot of time, and he's going deep for Sterling Sharp, and it bounces in front of him. Just didn't get long enough, and Ben Smith was downfield covering for Philadelphia.
You know, and that's not a bad idea. With, you know, of course, you'd like to throw the ball long enough, not get it there on one hop, but you know, is to move the quarterback around. You see here, you see Sterling Sharp, and again, if you can have time, you can get to this secondary. Sterling Sharp can beat these defensive backs. They can get guys open, but you got to throw it all the way there on a fly.
Third down and 3. Anthony Dillwig has not come out for the second half, except for that injured arch in the first half. And the handoff is to Jeff Query out of the shotgun, and Query down the sidelines. An impressive gain, first down and more, and 18 yards for Jeff Query on the reverse.
This is the type of thing we were talking about. I think they have to mix things up. They started and they went on a bootleg, and then they get in this long distance thing, and they give a reverse. They just don't stand back there and pass and let them tee off on you.
Dillwig is back on the bench, and they're taping up his ankle once more.
You wonder why they didn't do those things in the house. They just came out of the locker room, and you wonder what they did in the locker room that they have to do it out here.
They needed air or something. First and 10 on the 43. Another play action fake, and Sterling Sharp can't get that pass, which didn't quite get to him. Covering on the play was Eric Allen, and that was quite a hit on that previous play by Andre Waters on Query's reverse.
Well, I think any time that you're running any type of play and you get into the secondary of the Eagles, you're going to get quite a hit by Andre Waters, because Andre Waters is one of those guys that he's in that game because he is a hitter.
Second down and 10. 17-0. The Eagles lead the Packers. 12:48 remaining in the third quarter. Not going to get much of anything, and will lose yardage. Clyde Simmons leads the charge for the Eagles, and a loss of the play of 3 yards.
Well, the Packers have been coming out, and they've tried to do things. We talked about the bootleg. They ran a reverse. They're trying to run the ball, but you got to get those runners running straight ahead. You can't have them running sideways and picking up first down.
It'll be 3rd and 13, and the Packers 2 for 9 on third down conversions beyond 7 yards today.
Well, and again, a big part of that is that Philadelphia Eagle pass rush.
Keel's pass is caught by Fontenot out of the backfield, but way shy of the first down. They only got a couple of yards, 3 to be exact. Seth Joyner and William Frizzell defending on the play. So it'll be 4th down, and Bracken will come in and kick on the Eagles' defense. Still have not allowed any points.
Well, they really haven't allowed much of anything. They got that reverse on that thing, and maybe they could have had a play on that bootleg if Keel could have gotten it to Sterling Sharp.
Don Bracken kicking, and Rod Harris goes back deep for Philadelphia. Fair catch called for by Harris at about the 14-yard line. And will return to Veterans Stadium. 11:04 remaining in the 3rd quarter. One of these teams will break a 2-game losing streak, and right now it looks as if the Eagles will do that and also join the Washington Redskins as wild card teams in the playoffs. Redskins got there by virtue of their win yesterday at New England. Meanwhile, the Eagles start from the 14-yard line. 1st down. And Thomas Sanders with the carry. Penalty marker is down as Sanders picks up 11 yards. And it'll be a holding penalty against Philadelphia.
You know, Buddy Ryan always liked Thomas Sanders. He was with him with the Chicago Bears. Thomas Sanders was behind Walter Payton.
The offense.
Then Neil Anderson, and Buddy tried to get him when he was a free agent, Plan B player. Said he wanted too much money, so he went to San Diego, and San Diego got rid of him, so Buddy got him on the rebound. But he said that, that he's a good, fresh guy. He's not nicked up. And when you play behind Walter Payton and Neil Anderson, you don't get nicked up.
Sanders picked up 87 yards against Miami, carried the ball in only 3 games, but had his best in the last game. 1st down and 17, and Sanders up the middle. Came on strong and hit the Packers defense head on and gets 5 of those yards back. Johnny Holland and Burnell Dent that time.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things the Eagles have been looking at for some time, really since Robert Montgomery played here, is for a running back that could gain a lot of yardage on the ground. And remember they had Heath Sherman, and it looked like he had a couple 100-yard games, and then he got hurt. He's not even dressed today, so now the guy who's the real running back is Thomas Sanders.
2nd down and 11 from the 13. Cunningham's pass bobbled and then dropped by Byers. He was trailed by Tiger Green, and that will bring up 3rd down.
Byers looks like he wears a lot of equipment for a receiver too. Look, he got elbow pads, he got wrist pads, he got, what's that thing in there you put your hands in, I guess, hand warmers. He got towels on there. I mean, he runs out for a pattern. He's tough to cover because he got stuff flopping. You know, and you got this thing's flopping up and down, and that thing's flopping this way and that way, and the guy doesn't know what to cover. You know, and then they tell the defensive backs to tackle, look at the guy's belt. Well, the guy got too many things, too many combinations around the belt.
3rd down and 11. Cunningham drills it, and the pass is caught by Mickey Schuler. Veteran picked up from the Jets, and an 18-yard play and a 1st down to the 31, tackled by Pitts.
You know, this is one thing. This offensive line has been doing a good job of pass protection. Look what they not only do to Tim Harris, they got him up on the top, and he's in a stunt, and they zone that thing off. But they have been giving Randall Cunningham good time all day. Tell you, watch that throw. That thing has no up in it. That's like a rope.
1st down, Philadelphia with 9:12 to go in the 3rd. Sanders gets the call again, tests the left side of the line, and doesn't get much. 2 yards that time.
You know, as I look at this game, I look at it like it's this group here, this offensive line of the Eagles, when they got the ball and the job that they've been doing of pass protecting for Cunningham. And then when the other team has the ball, it's been the Eagle defensive line that has been dominating that. So this game, to me, is being won by linemen.
And the Eagle linemen. Second down and 8. And the pitch to Sanders. Gives ground and loses ground. Chuck Cecil came on and pursued that play.
There's a guy that'll hit you. You're talking about the tough guys in the NFL. This guy, in fact, he hits so hard, a lot of time he darn near self-destructs. I mean, he just hurts himself. Well, you know, he gets a lot of injuries and stuff because he hits so hard, but he just kind of zeroes in and, you know, and just throws his body at anything that's moving with the other colored jersey.
Third down and 14. Sanders lost 5 yards on that last play. And a false start. The Eagles up front, a couple of guys moved.
Looked like Mike Shadd, the left guard there, moved, didn't he? He's usually the guy who moved, the guy who spits.
79 of the offense.
Yeah, that was him. He spit. You know, you don't know what to do. Like some guys, when they do something wrong, they hit themselves in the head. An offensive lineman, he'll just go and just spit. That's all. It was neat.
Shadd did not play in the last 2 games, had a dislocated toe. Basically, other than Matt Darwin, who went out early in the season, the Eagles' offensive line has been intact this year. Third and long for Randall Cunningham. Going to be run, being chased from behind by Scott Stephen, and he will have the first down and runs out of bounds. 23 yards for Randall Cunningham.
You know, that leg can't be too bad. Let's just watch at it and see what causes him to run. They always want you guys to stay in a lane. Now, see, when he starts to run, they do not keep him contained. See all the Packers in here? Now look at out here, all the running room he has. So if you all get packed in and you don't keep him contained, then this is what happens. This is why every defensive coach will say, Cunningham, we got to contain him. If you don't contain him, that's what happens.
First down on the 43, and Sanders gets a hole that closes up in a hurry. He picks up 3 yards. Bob Nelson, the nose tackle, is there.
I think the Packers were doing a pretty good job of containing Cunningham early. And then they probably got to a point that they realized that he wasn't going to be running, so then they said to heck with contain. Then when they said to heck with contain, then Randall saw that big left side open.
Sean Patterson has come in on the defensive line, plus an extra back for Green Bay in the secondary. Second down and 7. Pressure and a blitz. Cunningham gets into Packer territory. Nice juke. There's a penalty marker down, and Cunningham will pick up the first down if it is against the Green Bay Packers. Sean Patterson and Mark Murphy on the stop. Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where the Eagles can make the playoffs with a win here, and they're leading the Packers 17-0, winding down to 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Dick Stockton and John Madden, and that's Anthony Dilweg, who went out in the first half, came back after an injured arch and throwing.
Yeah, I think the thing is, you know, that there may be a chance that we're going to see Anthony Dilweg now, because when a quarterback warms up with his helmet on, he thinks he's going to go back in.
Thomas Sanders on first down picks up 3 yards. Brown and Nelson up front. Clarence Weathers got hurt earlier and was hopping off the field. And we have another Packer injured.
Tim Harris down there now. They've already lost their inside linebacker, Brian Noble, in the first half to a knee injury. They couldn't afford to lose Tim Harris, although this Eagle offense has really controlled Tim Harris pretty well. I mean, they've been doubling and they've been mixing it up on him, and he's been moving around too, but wherever he goes, he's down here in the bottom of the left now. They've taken pretty good care of him.
Second down and 7, in the pitch to Sanders. Harris was chasing Sanders on that play, and along with Holland, hold Sanders to just a 1-yard gain.
Hey, you see, here's Tim Harris on the outside. Byers tries to cut him. He gets by that one. Then he takes on the guard and plays off that one right down the line of scrimmage. That's a pretty good play. Taking on, playing off 2 blockers and then going down the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 6. Burnell Dent to reinforce the Packer defense here. 4 wide receivers. Cunningham has Byers, and Byers let it go through his hands. And that'll be 4th down. If he had caught it, he would have had the 1st down. Mark Murphy was defending.
Yeah, Byers didn't have a very good halftime. Whatever he drank in there at halftime didn't work. That's like the 2nd one. He's dropped this half. He's already missed a block, and things aren't going too well for Byers this 2nd half. He should have kept what he had in the 1st half.
It was a good 1st half. He threw a touchdown pass to Anthony Toney and caught a 12-yard strike from Cunningham. But now Jeff Feagles in the kick near midfield. Jeff Query is back, and the kick nearly blocked, and a fair catch called for, or they're going to let it just drop, and it'll go out of bounds. And they'll start from the 15. 4 minutes and 24 seconds remain in the 3rd quarter. Green Bay will start from the 15-yard line, and this is what their last 6 possessions have looked like.
Yeah, you can see that they really haven't had good field position, and then when they get the ball, they haven't done anything with any position that they've had anyway.
31 was their best.
So the Eagles are really throwing a shutout.
Blair Keel on a play action pass caught by Sterling Sharp, and Eric Allen keeps him hemmed in. That'll be the 2nd catch for Sterling Sharp and a gain of 18 yards.
Yeah, if you look, and this includes that last catch with Dilweg at quarterback, they had 101 yards. And with Blair Keel, they've had 36, including that last one. So things really haven't been going very well with either quarterback in this offense.
But they've gone to a lot of play action and rollout stuff here in the 2nd half. 1st down on the 32. Straight drop this time, and Keel under pressure completes to keep Woodside, and Woodside is hit immediately in a gain of only 3, and Campen has to be separated briefly from Jerome Brown.
Watch Reggie White again here, Dick, number 92. He's just going to run right over and through Mandarich. At some point, Mandarich has to take him down. You see, he's getting his head down again, and then Reggie White's just running right by him. And, I mean, he's having trouble, and the 2 problems Mandarich is having is, 1 is getting his head down, and then 2 is not punching him, not hitting him to slow him up. He's catching too much.
The Eagles have 3 sacks today on Green Bay quarterbacks. 2nd down and 7. Quick pressure in, and the pass is caught again by Woodside. Short yardage, a gain of 7, and it'll be close to the 1st down, depending on the spot, and I think they're short by about a yard.
This time we're going to see the blitz. You see 59, Seth Joyner up on top. He's coming. They didn't get him blocked that time, but as you said, the quarterback, Blair Keel, got back and got rid of the ball before Joyner got there.
Andre Waters made the tackle. It'll be 3rd down and 1 for Green Bay with 2:20 remaining in the 3rd quarter. 17-0 to score in favor of the Eagles. And a play fake on 3rd and 1. Keel will run for the 1st down as Jerome Brown tried to catch him. Keel picks up 4 yards.
That was on a bootleg, and that gives Keel the option to either run it for the 1st down or throw to a receiver. None of his receivers were open, so he had to run it. But that's one thing, that they had to talk about at halftime, was that they were going to move their quarterback around more. You see Jerome Brown there, he doesn't like that. Defensive linemen do not like to chase quarterbacks.
Or if they do, they like to take a down off, another play off before they get back in there. Keel with another play fake. Pass complete. Woodside, and Woodside gets to within a yard of the first down. Seth Joyner on the stop. So 5 for 5 for Blair Keel. He's on a streak.
We look at this, this is the thing we're talking about, is that they've been sacked 3 times, hurried 10, knocked down 8, 2 batted balls and 1 interception. So it's not just the sacks, it's the hurries and the knockdowns and the total, that is making guys like Dilweg limp around and guys like Keel, throwing 6 for 12.
Second down and 1 on the Eagle 46. Has enough for the first down. Mike Golick, a gain of 3 yards. Mike Pitts still not ready to come back. He's been on injured reserve, had surgery on his left knee, and Golick, who normally had been the backup in the 5th defensive lineman, has had to be a regular.
Yeah, I was talking to Reggie White one time, and he was saying that these jerseys, you see Jerome Brown there, they wanted the jerseys tight up on top so that they couldn't hold, and then what the guy did is he made the jerseys tight all the way, and he said it made them all look too fat. So this year they had them designed where they're tight up on top and they give them some looseness in the body for the compilation.
I think they look much better. Blair Keel downfield to Perry Kemp, and it's broken up. Andre Waters got a hand on it. Hogue was also in on the play. And the gun sounds, and that is the end of the 3rd quarter here at Veterans Stadium with the score, the Eagles 17 and the Packers nothing. Come back to Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where the Philadelphia Eagles go into the 4th quarter, leading the Green Bay Packers by a score of 17-0. Randall Cunningham with a touchdown pass. Keith Byers threw a touchdown pass as well. Roger Ruzek with a field goal. And the defense has dominated today against the Packers, who have 2nd down and 10 on the Eagle 43. Blair Keel loses his footing, and they're going to rule him down back at the 48-yard line.
He could have slipped on that paint out there. It looked like there was something because it wasn't here. See now. Here's Jerome Brown here. See now, what they did is they put panels. You see the panel here? There's a panel in here that they added to the jersey so that you can fit the other side in there. You see, so you can keep the jerseys tight up above and then not be too tight down below. They just added a panel in there.
How many pieces of cloth make up that jersey?
I'd like to be in the business of selling cloth to Eagle defensive linemen.
3rd down and 19. Blair Keel going for Sterling Sharp, but a little too far with Eric Allen covering on the play.
I think the Eagles are now in a position that they know they aren't going to run, they aren't going to fool them, so they just got blitzing, they just got everyone teeing off. They're just bringing the whole kitchen sink. And, they know that there's no way that they can hurt them, so they're just going to keep bringing more and more guys.
Rod Harris is back as Don Bracken gets set to kick again. That, by the way, that slip by Keel went as a sack, of course, for the Eagles, their 4th of the game. End over end kick, and Harris says no. And it'll be down at the 31-yard line. That's one of the things that the Eagles had not gotten that much of this year, quarterback sacks. And they have 4 this afternoon. Next Saturday at noon Eastern time, a memorable edition of the NFL Today. The greatest plays of all time, like Alan Amici's overtime touchdown in 58. Have you ever been involved in a memorable play, John, when you were coaching?
Well, yeah, but it's been memorable to other people, not to me. I remember that thing in Pittsburgh, Franco Harris, they got a name for it, the Immaculate Reception.
You think that'll be on the list next week?
I hope it's not, because I was on the other end of that one. I wasn't on the good end.
Thomas Sanders picks up 5 yards before he's stopped by Johnny Holland. Oh, Randall Cunningham's 95-yard touchdown pass a couple of weeks ago against Buffalo. That's a big one. That you might see next week. That's on the NFL Today.
How about Randall Cunningham punt last year against the Giants? Remember that? He punted out of his own end zone, and it went like 95 yards or some darn thing. In fact, I put him on the All-Madden team a year ago just for that punt.
2nd down and 5 on the 37. And they send Byers out to the left. Cunningham's pass caught by Mickey Schuler. Schuler gets close to midfield. Johnny Holland again, and Schuler's second reception is good for 12 yards and a 1st down.
You know, I think Keith Jackson got hurt in the pregame warm-up. You know, he was out there, and we saw him get hurt, and they took him in, so they're not playing him as much now, and that's why Schuler is in there.
Jackson has caught 3 passes today. He has caught 6 in each of the last 2 games. 1st and 10 up the 49 of the Eagles. Thomas Sanders drives his way into Green Bay territory, and a gain of 5. Tim Harris on the stop. He was the first man to reach Sanders.
Now, you always think about Randall Cunningham going out of the pocket. He went left, and he was 1 for 1 today. He went right, and he was 0 for 3. And then most of the time, he just stayed in the pocket.
Chuck Cecil has gone out of the game with an injury, and Tiger Green has replaced him at free safety. 2nd down and 5 at the Packer 46. Runs right into a horde of white shirts and will lose a couple of yards. This game important to the Packers. We've talked about the Eagles and the fact that they can wrap up a wild card berth with a win, John. But if Green Bay loses this game, and they're headed that way, of course, the Dallas Cowboys, who won today, would jump ahead of them into the number 3 slot of the 3 wild cards.
Yeah, I think at some point, you know, towards the end of the season, the teams that are going to be in the playoff teams have to start playing like playoff teams. And the Packers really aren't playing like a playoff team anyway, so they probably won't or shouldn't be in a playoff. The Cowboys now, since Thanksgiving Day, remember that they beat the Redskins on Thanksgiving Day? I think that brought them a whole new confidence.
Penalty marker down as Cunningham floats it out of bounds. 2 flags are down at opposite ends or sides of the field.
Defense, number 62, 5-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
You'll see that right over the middle. That's Matt Brock, number 62. You see he gets that helmet right over the ball, then the center snaps the ball. So the defensive guy can get over. If he doesn't hit the guy, he can get back. But a smart center will see that guy get over, then whap, he just snaps the ball, and now they got him caught. It's a cheap 5 yards.
3rd down and 2. Cunningham's pass intended for Barnett. Covering was Jerry Holmes, and that will bring up 4th down for the Eagles with 11 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter.
Cunningham was leading Barnett in there, and Barnett didn't keep going in there. Cunningham was leading him in there like he was going to run it in there, and Barnett, for whatever reason, was coming under control. That was a misread, I think, of Barnett.
17-0 to score. We have not had any scoring in the 2nd half. Jeff Fiegels with a high kick. Fair catch called for by Query. Fumbles, and the Eagles have it. That's Mike Bellamy who recovers for Philadelphia. And he doesn't want to get up.
No, they're dragging him around. Poor old Bellamy. They're dragging him around like he's a rag doll. Here, he looks it right into his hands. It's like he heard those footsteps coming down there. Watch him now. They can't interfere. They have to let him, but he short-armed it. He short-armed that one, and then there were 3 Eagles ready to get it. Bellamy gets it. Then they start dragging him around.
The Eagles are now even. They've taken advantage. They've had 2 turnovers. They were -2. 1st and 10 at the 17. Eagles. Cunningham fakes to the 10, the 5, leaps. And he goes over. It is a touchdown. The ball crossed the plane. He wound up out of bounds in the end zone, and Cunningham scores.
He was airborne for a record. That was a record. He was airborne for over 7 seconds. Watch this where he takes off. Now watch here. You have to stay in your lanes. Now you leave him that open lane. You see the lane right there? You leave it open. He uses a pump as a fake. Now watch where he goes airborne right here about the 4-yard line, and he doesn't come down until he's about 3 yards inside the end zone. Now what they have to look for, they'll review this one. Where was the ball when he crossed the plane? Where was the football? The football has to cross the plane of the goal line. But he went farther and higher than I think I've ever seen. It's a record. This is a long jump and high jump record.
Mark Lee was the guy that Cunningham leaped over, and you'll see he'll land out of bounds, but did the ball cross the plane in that little area, huh?
Yeah, it's where the ball went over, right at the pylon.
The play stands. Touchdown.
It's a touchdown.
There's a guy who can do it all. I wonder if he even thinks about that. I wonder if he even thinks, I'm gonna see how high and how far I can jump. I'd like to do that once in my life, just to feel it.
Ruzek's kick is good, and it's 24-0. And we'll return to Veterans Stadium after this message from your local station. You are watching the NFL on CBS. And it appears that Jim McMahon is going to be coming in at quarterback, and Randall Cunningham deservedly will get the rest of the afternoon off. We have 11 minutes exactly left in the fourth quarter, and the Eagles have widened their lead now to 24-0. Roger Ruzek kicking off for Philadelphia. 17-yard touchdown run by Randall Cunningham, his 5th TD rushing this year. Charles Wilson returns for the Packers. And he loses the ball. And maybe the same guy, if the whistle hadn't blown, Mike Bellamy would have recovered. A 16-yard return.
The player was ruled down.
And it will not go as a fumble. The play was ruled down. Bellamy very nearly made another recovery. In a 24-0 Eagle rout, Byers with a big first half. Barnett, the rookie, with a spectacular catch among his 5. Cunningham has run a lot in the second half, and the total yards as well. And what's not on there is Buddy Ryan's defensive effort today. They have just not let the Green Bay Packers get much of anything. First down for the Packers on their 27. Vince Workman is in the game at running back. Play action by Blair Keel, and the pass is incomplete. Ed West, the tight end, was the intended receiver.
There's old Golick. How'd you like to be the parents and say, what do your kids do? Well, I got 2 boys, defensive linemen in the National Football League. One plays here for the Eagles, and one's out there playing for the Raiders.
Gotta be pretty proud.
2 big old defensive tackles. Good guys, too.
Second down and 10. Keel's pass is caught by Jeff Query. Allen chased him out of bounds, a yard short of first down marker. Philadelphia Eagles' biggest margin of victory this year was against the New England Patriots back on November the 4th when they won 48-20. And they're threatening to establish their biggest margin in this one.
Yeah, that's the way they should be. That's what we said earlier, that if you're going to be a playoff team, you have to start peaking as you go into the playoffs. You have to start playing your best football then.
3rd down and 1 for Green Bay. And the pitch to Fontenot, and right in there was Seth Joyner. That's the first time, or maybe the second, we've mentioned his name, and a loss of 7 yards.
Yeah, Seth Joyner came and no one blocked. Look, here's Seth Joyner right here. He's going to come whap right here and be unblocked. If you have a guy looking like that and coming like that and you don't get him blocked, you're not going to make any yards.
Joyner having his best year for the Eagles.
I don't know. There's Reggie White coming off there. You hope that that's not an injury. They could. I mean, if you talk about a one-man gang, this guy today in the first half of this football game was a one-man gang.
Don Bracken kicking, and a fine kick sends Ron Harris back inside his 30. Lost control momentarily and is finally down at the 36-yard line by Blair Bush. 42-yard kick. We'll return to Veterans Stadium after this.
CBS sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by today's Chevrolet, who invite you to see why more people are winning with the heartbeat of America. Canon, a world leader in cameras and business equipment. And by Budweiser, the king of beers. Remember, know when to say when.
Dick Stockton and John Madden here in Philadelphia, and Jim McMahon has come in at quarterback for Randall Cunningham. Only his 3rd appearance of the year. Thomas Sanders cuts outside. Ridden out by Jerry Holmes. So McMahon's last appearance was on November 12th against Washington. He had played the week before briefly against New England as well.
Yeah, I think that's smart. I mean, you get a guy like Randall Cunningham. He's had a good day. He has his confidence. Get him out while he's still healthy. But more important, get your backup quarterback in. Get him some playing time, because you know you're going to be in the playoffs. You only have 2 more games before the playoffs, and even though Jim McMahon is a real veteran, he still needs to get in and get some snaps during a game.
2nd down and 3 on the pitch. Sanders did have the first down and knocked hard by Tiger Green. And right now, for an NFL Today update, let's check in with Greg Gumbel in New York. Greg?
All right, Dick, earlier today at Dallas, Emmitt Smith chalked up 103 yards and 4 touchdowns as the Cowboys rolled over Phoenix 41-10. That makes them 7-7 on the year, and the Dallas Cowboys solidly in the hunt for an NFC wildcard slot. They play the Eagles next Sunday here on CBS. Dick and John?
And of course, Randall Cunningham is going to get a chance to rest up for that game with the Cowboys next week. 1st and 10 for the Eagles at midfield. McMahon hands off to Roger Vick. Roger Vick, who came over from the New York Jets. Rich Kotite coached them there, along with Mickey Schuler, familiar with him, picks up 5.
Yeah, and then you talk about being familiar. There's a guy who looks like he's bored with the whole thing, but talking about being familiar, Jim McMahon, of course, quarterbacking, and Thomas Sanders in the backfield with him. They played together at the Chicago Bears.
Scott Stephen got hurt before our last time out. He is now back in the lineup for the Packers. 2nd down and 5. Again, it's Roger Vick. He gets an opening, and Vick gains 17 yards before Jerry Holmes brings him down. His longest carry of the year.
Hey, he has pretty good blocking here, too. They get a double team on the nose tackle. Vick goes in to the double team, then breaks off the double team to the outside, and he's in the secondary. That's a smart move. If you have a double team, always run right at the double team, because that's going to give you your biggest soft spot.
I've seen a lot of linemen with that Darth Vader mask.
Yeah, no one's going to read Jim McMahon's eyes, he said. Safety ain't going to read my eyes.
First and 10. Sanders with 3 yards, and Burnell Dent on the tackle, and the clock running. 7 minutes remain in the 4th quarter. The Eagles leading 24-0.
I wonder if Jim McMahon's going to throw a pass. I know that, you know, he was saying last night that this is kind of like one year when he was at Brigham Young as a redshirt, not playing, and now he finally gets a game. You know, and you know it's at the end of the game and it's the 4th quarter, but you'd still like to do something. Just know McMahon, he'd like to do something just about half goofy. You know, like maybe run and do a somersault or something like that.
He hasn't thrown a pass this year in those 2 appearances, and still won't. On this play, Thomas Sanders bounces off the defender, gets a first down, and moves to about the 10-yard line where Tiger Green is there, and a 15-yard pickup.
There's Rich Kotite. He's sending into play to see if he's going to give him a pass. He got that mask on where the safety can't read his eyes. They're doing a good job of blocking, doing a good job of running. But as we said earlier, the offensive line of the Eagles controlled that Packer defense early. And now, you know, it's like the 12th round of a fight after you've beaten a guy in the body all day.
First and 10 just outside the 10. And the Eagle defensive line controlled the Packers offensive line. Roger Vick. Tim Harris got him after a pickup of 1.
I think I saw Cunningham down there talking to Kotite and telling him to let McMahon throw a touchdown pass.
That would be fitting.
And if he does, it'll be something like a play pass, some kind of play pass or waggle, you know, bootleg where he has an option to run and pass. I think this would be a good down to do it. 3rd down, you know, everyone would know that you're going to do it. Here you still have a little element of surprise.
2nd down and 9 for Jim McMahon. That's his first pass of the year, and it's caught by Thomas Sanders. 8 yards. The one-handed catch is in vogue this afternoon in Philadelphia.
That's all the Eagles need. They only need one hand. See, McMahon, he wanted a touchdown pass. He took a pretty good hit on this thing, though, too. Watch him. He's gonna throw this ball, and he takes a lick right at the end. That could have been a 2-handed guess, but he just put one hand up to get that one. Yes, he's throwing it just before he takes a hit to his old Chicago Bear teammate, Thomas Sanders.
It'll be 3rd and 1. And a timeout called by Philadelphia. We'll be back. Saturday at 3:45 Eastern Time. The season premiere of college basketball on CBS. Duke at Oklahoma. Billy Tubbs Sooners have won 51 straight at home, but face a tough test against Mike Krzyzewski's Blue Devils, who are led by 6'11" junior center Christian Laettner. College basketball premieres Saturday on CBS, and last night Oklahoma beat Loyola Marymount 172-112.
Krzyzewski used to be a nose tackle for the Packers.
They call him Coach K now.
In the 20s. Now, they used to have a nose tackle named Krzyzewski. Hey, Krzyzewski, get up over the center.
Third down and 1. Sanders, penalty marker down, and Sanders is stopped short of the goal line. Tim Harris was there, among others.
Rich Kotite's looking for a good play after a penalty.
Penalty is against Green Bay, and Eagles might have had a first down anyway.
It's going to put him closer.
They only needed a yard.
Offside. Number 79, the defense penalized half the distance to the goal. Repeat 3rd down.
I think Randall Cunningham's trying to talk Kotite into something there, and Kotite isn't even listening. and he's trying to get help from the other side. I think he's trying to get, you know, that old, you do it from that side, I'll do it from this side, see if we can get this one called.
3rd down and 1. Gets in for the touchdown. That's his first touchdown as a Philadelphia Eagle. Thomas Sanders, a 2-yard score.
Usually you celebrate with your own team. On that one, he went over, after he celebrated with his own team, Thomas Sanders went over and gave Johnny Holland a headbutt.
And right now, this will be the largest margin of victory all year for the Eagles. They lead 30-0, and Roger Ruzek will attempt to add point number 31. Low snap. The kick is good, and it's 31-0 in favor of the Eagles.
There's Jim McMahon. He's looking at everything. And they hand the ball to Thomas Sanders. And you see number 50, Johnny Holland, in there coming in to make the tackle. Holland and Sanders were college teammates. You're going to see after the play, after he did that, he celebrated. Sanders celebrated with his own teammates and then went over and gave Holland a headbutt.
Randall Cunningham is happy, and John, remember early in the year when the Eagles lost 4 of their first 6 games and then ran off a 5-game winning streak, dropped 2, and now get in the playoffs with this win today, and people were looking for Buddy Ryan's scalp back then.
Well, yeah, I don't know, about that. There's always talk. I mean, Buddy Ryan is one of those guys that is outspoken and kind of easy to talk about, but I think that he has done an outstanding job here with this Eagle team, and I don't know that they could get a coach who could come close to what he's doing here. And even when they did lose a couple, I don't think that was ever serious talk. I think Buddy's his own man, and Buddy's kind of scary for other coaches because Buddy doesn't care. I mean, Buddy wants to win as bad as anyone, but you're not going to intimidate Buddy. And you never know what he's going to do. And you talk about playoffs with the Redskins winning now and the Eagles, it looks like that wild card is going to be a Redskin Eagle. And those are real Titanics.
And the Redskins want to have the home field at RFK where it should be rocking in that first round. Ruzek kicking off. And Fontenot will down it in the end zone. The Raiders have beaten Cincinnati and have clinched a playoff spot, their first playoff berth since 1985, and with Kansas City losing today, the Raiders move into first place in the AFC West.
I'll tell you, I'm real proud of my old left tackle, Art Shell. I was real happy, of course, when he was made head coach, and knew that he would do an outstanding job, and he sure has.
Chuck Cecil heading into the dressing room, and by the way, that's the Raiders' 15th appearance in postseason.
Yeah, they know. They've been there before. I mean, they've been invited to the dance. They know how to dance.
First down on the 20-yard line. Blair Keel. And the pass is caught by Jeff Query with Britt Hager on the stop, a gain of 5. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League, and the CBS telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the National Football League is prohibited. Keel's pass tipped by Izell Jenkins, intended for Kemp. Right now, let's check in with Greg Gumbel in New York. Greg?
Well, Dick, you were talking about the L.A. Raiders. They have clinched an AFC playoff berth, and they did it on the strength of Bo Jackson's running today. Look at this one, an 88-yarder that will take him almost into the end zone. He's caught at the 1-yard line by Rod Jones, but the victory lifts the Raiders into first place in the AFC's Western Division. The Chiefs have lost to Houston. Back to you, Dick.
Hey, Greg, ask Terry if he saw that block on that long run by Jay Schrader. That's the way a quarterback should block.
Keel loses the ball, recovers, but a loss anyway, and Reggie White was right in his face again. It's quite a block by Schrader on that.
I know it. Yeah, that's the one that sprung Bo Jackson. I'll tell you, there is a frustrated coach. You see, Lindy and Fonte, you know, he had things going last year, and right there, he may have hit an all-time low. I mean, he just threw everything down in frustration, and one of his players, Sterling Sharp, had to come up and help calm him down.
Don Bracken will kick again, and Ron Harris back for the Eagles with under 3 minutes to go in the game. Harris straight ahead. 17-yard return to the 35 to stop by Jerry Woods. The Eagles took a lead in the first quarter when Keith Byers threw his third touchdown pass of the year to Anthony Toney. Ruzek's field goal made it 10-0. Then Cunningham hit Byers on a great drive in the final seconds. And then in the fourth quarter, Cunningham with a 17-yard run and high jump into the end zone. Thomas Sanders with his first touchdown as an Eagle, and the route had long been on. 31-0 with 2:43 to play in the game.
Now, there's a guy that's done a good job, number 68, Reggie Singletary. He's a right tackle of the Eagles, and he's probably been their most consistent guy.
Sanders gets 6 yards with Holland on the stop. Well, the coordinating producers of the NFL on CBS, Charles H. Milton III and Ed Gorin. Our game here produced by Robert D. Stenner and directed by Sandy Grossman. The NFL Today produced by Eric Mann and directed by Duke Struck. Senior producer at CBS Sports is David Winter, and the executive producer of CBS Sports, Ted Shaker. Winding down to the 2-minute warning, and talked about the home field advantage that the Redskins would like to have against the Eagles. The Redskins have no more games against NFC teams. 2 minutes to go in the game, and we'll be back. Many of the fans have departed from Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. 2 minutes to go in the game. Dick Stockton with John Madden and the Philadelphia Eagles 2 minutes away from wrapping up a playoff berth. That man had a lot to do with it today, Reggie White.
I tell you, he had a big day, especially that first half. I think that he came out there and set the tempo for that Eagle defense, and then it was downhill the rest of the day for the Packers.
2nd down and 5 on the Packer 30. Sanders cutting inside, has the first down. Murphy and Green for Green Bay. Gain of 6 yards.
This is kind of the fun part when you're ahead 31-0 and everything's going well. You know, coaching, you're on the sideline there. That's a fun part of coaching, fun part of playing. You've done all the hard work, and now things get easier, and sometimes that's the biggest fun of it.
Well, the Eagles are having a lot of fun. 1st and 10 at the 24. And Roger Vick, very little. Well, for those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you are watching the NFL on CBS and the game between the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm Dick Stockton along with John Madden, and our score, Philadelphia 31 and Green Bay nothing. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast and in the Mountain Time Zone.
You know, look at all that stuff they have on the sideline now. That's all bandages and rubs, and and they have the tape. You see on that hand, there's like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kinds of tapes on there to get guys to play. They need all that stuff. They need a whole big crate of it now.
Sanders carrying. Especially in a game like this, we've had a lot of taping done with players being carried off and going off with injury.
In the old days, they used to carry it out like in a lunch pail or not, and now they got big cartons and stuff. And again, our congratulations to the Eagles for being in the playoffs.
They're in the playoffs, and the Packers right now are out of it, with Dallas having the edge. And the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Green Bay Packers 31-0. So for John Madden, this is Dick Stockton saying so long from Veterans Stadium. Final score, the Eagles 31 and the Packers nothing. The Eagles are in the playoffs. 60 minutes is next, except on the West Coast and the Mountain Time Zone. You have been watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.